Hello everyone, in this video we're going to be putting together the Honda S800 headlight assembly. Now this should help out Honda S600 owners and Honda S800 owners, and the reason why I'm putting this together is because the manual and the parts catalog really doesn't show you how things go together. So this is going to be a rough video to give you an idea so you could reference, and if you're putting your headlight together you can look at this video and hopefully it will help you out. Alright guys, let's go ahead and get started. So one of the first things you want to know is that this harness actually comes out. So there's a little grommet here, you push it in and you could take out the harness. And the way you need to do that is by disconnecting the pins from the actual connector. I left one out so you guys could see, but this pin essentially goes inside here and you just take it out with a little flathead screwdriver. All right, so one of the first things that we want to do is install this little arm here. And I want you guys to see this because this is one of the hardest things to understand. And essentially it's got a little screw here, and what happens is that you have to be a little bit careful with making sure it's not too tight and not too loose, because you want it to have a little bit of friction, a little bit of kind of tightness so it could do its job. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and install this bottom portion of it. Essentially what you do is you just push that through and gently just kind of work it in there. There we go, that's in there. Now you can put the light bulb inside here, and that's ready to go. And just like we were talking about the harness, we're gonna connect this, and that's good to go as well. I looked and looked and looked and looked, and this is not an easy process. So once you've installed this, like I said, you just put the screw in here, make sure it's nice and tight. Then the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and install this portion of it. So this is probably the trickiest part because it gets really, really annoying. So essentially, you have a bolt in there and you have a lip on this. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and just put that in there. A lot of this stuff is pretty old, so, you know, taking stuff out, putting it back in, it's not easy. All right. But before we get started on that, we're gonna go ahead and do the spring. Again, there's a lot of ways you could get this wrong, and this is one of those things that, you know, I got this in pieces and I've been trying to do some kind of reverse engineering, but boom. Okay, so this is a very difficult headlight to work with because things really don't line up. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the screw in here with the washer in the bottom. I honestly don't know if that's right or wrong. I've searched, I've asked, I've seen some pictures, and I'm gonna go with the bottom. Okay, so once the spring's on there, believe it or not, you put your hand underneath the headlight and push around until you can make it fit. There's a little indentation in here, right here, where that arm fits inside there. So let's see, yep, it's in there. There we go, you heard that click in? Because I heard that click in. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put our gasket. So as you can see, our gasket can either go like this, right? Or it could go like this. And with their flat setting right here. So I personally like it like this because there's already an indentation for the bottom part. And then we're just gonna put this over it. And then these screws go inside here. So let me go get the tool for that and we'll lock those down. All right, and the main thing is you just want to do it back and forth so it could seat correctly. So after some thinking, I'm pretty sure that the plastic piece goes in the bottom because that makes it adjustable, gives it a base for adjustment. And I'm thinking this arm is to help compensate the other side because the spring is bringing it down. I believe the arm is supposed to bring it up because when I turn this screw here, you know, it brings it up. So I think that makes a lot of sense. So let's go ahead and put this thing together now that we have an idea. It's not perfect, but it's definitely a lot better. So on this bulb assembly, you have these little tabs, 3 of them on each side. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna match them to these tabs right here. So let's do that. Now this particular bulb really doesn't match up well, so I'm not sure if this is an aftermarket one. All right, that's the best we're gonna get. And then we're gonna put our chrome piece over, but if you see this fitting right here, guys, or this little indentation or gap, that's gonna line up with this part right here, which a screw goes inside there. So this fits over the headlight bulb assembly. There's like a little tab right here that is supposed to kind of fit over. It's a little tight. And again, you know, this video is not going to be perfect because the headlight assembly is a little bit overly complicated and there's really no instructions how to take it apart that I found online. So then we're going to put a screw in there. Now I'm using an Allen screw because I don't know where the original fittings are for this. So if you have the original screw, you would just be putting the original one in there. All right, so we're gonna call that in there. This seemed to pop out from this side, so let's just push it back in there. But it's like the headlight is canted to the right, so let's use our method of adjusting it with our screwdriver over here. And it is turning it. It seems like it's turning it down, but it did turn it. And again, if you guys have any recommendations how to adjust this, of course this headlight looks like it's going to looking over to the right, so we would adjust that a little bit more. And I am so open to your suggestions and comments on this. And then there's a tab right here that goes over this tab right here. Do you see that, guys, right there? It goes over that and over your headlight assembly. So essentially, you have to make sure that tab actually goes over that assembly. Does it go over this assembly or that assembly? Here, let's see. Yeah, no, it goes over that assembly, and I said, boom, and it lines up. And I have a screw that I found again in a random box. See if we can line it up. And I'm just gonna screw this down so you guys can see. And that is it. And that is how I kind of deducted the headlight. I could be missing a few steps, even maybe a screw or two, but that's what I have, guys, and I hope it helps you out. And if you see something that I need to address or anything like that, let me know. But essentially, this would be ready to go right here. Just like that. All right, guys, thanks for watching.